Michigan, Washington, J.J. McCarthy, Michael Penix. Maybe the two best quarterbacks this year in college football. Yes, even though Caleb Williams will go number one overall, even though Drake May will probably go number two overall, these two signal callers have been leading their teams to the two best records in college football all season long. Michigan, big statement wins over not only Ohio State, but Alabama in the CFP. Washington has two wins over Oregon plus Texas in the CFP. Now these two teams, led by head coach Jim Harbaugh, who after all he's went through, being suspended at the end of the season, not being on the sideline at the beginning of the season, to Caleb DeBoer leading this Washington program back to prominence. These two schools will now be playing for the national championship. I am Brandon Lewis, the executive host, founder, producer of Brandon's World. This is a Thursday, January 4th, 2024. I believe that this could be Jim Harbaugh's potentially last game as the head coach of the Michigan Wolverines. We know everything surrounding Jim Harbaugh and the Michigan scandal. As I have previously said, I do not believe that scandal impacted anything Michigan did on the field. Michigan was whooping people very early in the season. And for all of you that think Michigan just cheated, you're really just not fans of Jim Harbaugh or not fans of the school. In reality, I have said all year long, I do believe that Michigan is the best team in college football. I thought that since week one. I think they have the best offensive line. I think they have one of the best defensive lines in the country. I think Washington is more of an offensive powerhouse. With that offense, they can put up 35, 40, even 45 points on anybody in the country. I don't think Michigan's defense is great, but I do think what Michigan will try to do is run the football. Blake Corum, very good running back, could have won the Heisman a couple of years ago if he did not get hurt. I think Michigan will use their offensive line. They will beat up on Washington. They will slow the game down. I predict this game to be about a 24-20 ball game in favor of Michigan. Now, is there a situation here where Michigan could blow out Washington? I believe there is. And Michigan gets them on Washington early. They get a couple stops. J.J. McCarthy plays well. They use the tempo. They get up 14-0. This could be a rout in favor of Michigan. If Washington gets the aerial attack going and they force Michigan to not use that run game and J.J. McCarthy has to throw, there is a path, I believe, for Washington to win this game by about, 34-24. I think Michigan's depth will be the difference. And again, I think running the football, being physical, and wearing down a Washington defensive line that is not as great as Michigan's will be the key. The most interesting factor for me in this scenario, if Jim Harbaugh and Michigan do win the national championship, we know the Los Angeles Chargers job is open. We know the Las Vegas Raiders job is open, though we all think it will go to Antonio Pierce. If the Las Vegas Raiders' desire is to go after Jim Harbaugh, will he leave Michigan for one of those prominent NFL jobs? I think it is certainly possible. This reminds you of the Pete Carroll USC to the Seattle Seahawks, where it was the scandal, obviously, at the end of Pete Carroll's tenure down there in USC. Then obviously Pete has had a very successful career at the NFL level with the Seahawks, or being with the Jets and the Patriots with some time. In my opinion, Jim Harbaugh and Michigan are going to raise the trophy. Again, they've been the best team in college football all year long. I think Michael Penix, depending on the way he plays, his draft stock could rise in this game. The way J.J. McCarthy plays, could J.J. McCarthy rise to an up level to be, not even a mid-first round pick, maybe a top 10 first round pick? Yes, because the way he's played this year, and we all know that NFL scouts do fall in love with recency bias. Even though I think Washington does have the wide receivers, Michigan did play a team a lot similar to Washington this year in the Ohio State Buckeyes. And what did they do in the second half of that game? Once again, as I predict they will do in this game, run the football. I think Michigan is again better offensive line, better defensive line, and just more depth and more physical. It was why they defeated Alabama. And I believe this is the year. Again, Michigan's going to lose a lot of recruits next year in the NFL draft. They're projecting that all of these guys coming out of Michigan may have the most first and second rounders ever. We talked about Alabama for years and Georgia for years, obviously getting all this first and second round talent. Michigan may have more this year. Their coach may be leaving. Their team is stacked. Their coach is really good. This is the perfect time. This is the perfect story. And even though I like Michael Penix and I like Caleb DeVore and I like the way Washington is playing, I don't think this is the year. Again, 24-20. I think Michigan walks away your NCAA college football playoff championship, but I believe it will be a better game than what it was last year between Georgia and TCU.
Like that clip from the Brands World podcast? If so, make sure you go down there and hit that subscribe button. While you're down there hitting the subscribe button, make sure to also hit the notification bell so you never miss another upload. And make sure you check out all the other clips from the Brands World podcast right here on YouTube.